Come on in, you guys. I wanted to redo what I did this morning out on my first walk. I went out on my first walk. I went live on Instagram, and I thought, man, we're going to be able to post this and get it out there everywhere. And Instagram decided to give me hell trying to post that bad boy. So I did a wonderful talk this morning about what I'm going to talk about here now, out while I was walking. And I was so upset because I'm like, I said so many cool things that I don't want to let it go without doing this. So I'm coming back on here again. We're going to talk about what I talked about this morning. Probably a few new things will come out in this. I'm in my massage chair. I came back from my 1 hour walk this morning. I came back here and took a shower and kind of got my back warm for the chiropractor. Then I went to the chiropractor, got an adjustment, and so now I'm here in the massage chair trying to keep things loose and feel good. I do feel generally pretty good today. The pain level has been a lot less than it was circa a week ago, because a week ago was when I started on this sabbatical to 50, and I was not feeling great on that first day because I'd already thrown my back out. So just wanted to give that update. But I wanted to talk about a topic here that I don't think we really kind of get into very much, because people usually have the opposite problem. And the opposite problem is you don't challenge yourself enough. You don't push yourself to the brink on a regular basis. And that's something that I'm learning the more that I live life, that it's better to push yourself so you can see what you're capable of. And what people tend to do is they creepy crawly. They'll go and do things that they know they can do, and then they accomplish those things. Wow, I accomplished, and then through that accomplishment, then they do something a little harder and a little harder and a little harder, and they do this incremental approach to pushing themselves. So what I've done with my sabbatical to 50 is I have made it challenging from the start. So a lot of people, when I posted all the things that I'm doing, which includes 2 60-minute walks a day, an infrared sauna, an ice bath, red light therapy, grounding, meditation, eating carnivore on the odd days, fasting on the even days, all of these things in tandem every single day for 100 days in a row, people were like, Jimmy, that's a lot. And believe me, I know it's a lot. And it got to the point where Sunday, it was so much that I had to take a break. Like Sunday, I woke up and I did not feel like doing all the things that I needed to do that I had set out to do. And so Sunday, I took an entire break the whole day from all the things that I've been doing. And I'm glad I did, because then I was able to hit it hard starting on Monday. And I knew early on that this was going to be challenging early on. But my goal with all of those things is not that I can necessarily do them and do them extremely well now, but that the goal is to be able to, by the end of it, do them very well. And even then some. And by the end of it, I'm anticipating I'm going to either add a whole lot more time to the ones that I'm doing, or new things adding to them. This is the approach that I have chosen to do, where, yes, it's a lot. And some people say it's too much too fast. You're in over your head. How are you doing all this? You won't be able to keep up, blah, 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 blah. And my thinking is, if it feels like it's a lot and you try your hardest, you're going to go much, much further than you ever would if you only did what you knew you were comfortable in doing. Does that make sense? And so pushing ourselves, I think, is such an important concept that here on day 8 of my sabbatical to 50, I'm already learning. The fact that I'm able to push myself. I'll give you an example. So yesterday afternoon, I had 2 back-to-back podcasts. I had one at 1 o'clock, which I did here on Instagram Live, and I had a second one, One Step Deeper podcast recording with Brittany at 2 o'clock. And as soon as the 2 o'clock one was over, it was 3 o'clock. I immediately came over here, grabbed what I needed, and I went out the door. and I started walking. Now, I had been sitting for 2 straight hours doing the podcast. My back was stiff. It was sore from the Hannibal Lecter that did my back adjustment yesterday. But I got out there on that trail and I was writhing in pain. It was pretty bad. And it was hot outside, so I was already getting dehydrated. I had forgotten to bring a water bottle. It was a lot of things. And I literally was like on the verge of tears that whole walk yesterday. But I wasn't quitting. It was a challenge for sure. And it was something I'm glad that I had on the schedule to do 2 60-minute walks, because that psychologically made me push myself. Now, if I was in some kind of a danger or whatever, I would not have done the second walk. I've already been flexible in that. And I've skipped some things here and there. And like I said on Sunday, totally skipped all the things to rest and recuperate. And I'm glad I did. And so I don't know. Is there such a thing as too much, too fast? I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this. So I'm 1 week in. I've finished 7 days yesterday on my Staybatical to 50. It's 100 days in a row. Started on September the 1st, going all the way to December 10th. 100 days in a row, all these biohacks, doing them every single day with the purpose of not weight loss, but body composition change to feel good and some mindset changes. And so I'm just real curious. Anybody that's gone on some kind of a journey where you had to push yourself. Did you go too hard, too fast, too much, too fast? Were you in over your head? Do you feel like that maybe some of the goals you might have set for yourself were too high? Or were you one of those that set a goal that you knew you could do just so you could have the accomplishment? There's a little bit of like psychology both ways here, of pushing yourself to the brink and then allowing yourself to have an achievement of, I accomplished what I wanted to do, and then that motivates you to push yourself a little more. I'm just curious, what has worked for you? Feel free to chime in, write your little comments down there. I'll interact with you here in a minute. But I find this idea of really, really pushing yourself fascinating. Like, is there such a thing as too much, too fast? And if I was going to test that, this Staybatical to 50 is certainly testing that. Because prior to this, I wasn't doing all of these things every day. I was doing these things here, there, once in a while, but not all of them in tandem every single day. And keep in mind, this takes 5 or 6 hours a day to accomplish all these things. Ruth says, yes, walked 20 miles one day, had to not walk a couple of days because of sore shins. Yeah, and you adapt, Ruth. That's the point of it. You have to adapt. But 20 miles was probably too much, too fast for you. I don't know how far I'm walking. I'm just putting a time on it. I will tell you that when I do my walks, I am methodically and slowly going a little further each time, which means my pace is picking up because I'm able to do it. Ruth says 4 miles in the morning, 4 in the evening, and 2 at lunch. Okay, you're breaking it up. So you're doing a lot more hardcore than me. So kudos to you, Ruth. That's awesome. If you're just joining us, I lost my Instagram live from this morning. I was live while I was out on my trail. I had my first 60-minute walk this morning, and I totally lost that video. I tried to post it for an hour and a half on Instagram. Instagram kept giving me an error message, but I was like, this is a subject that's too important not to talk about. So I decided to come back on here while I'm in my massage chair, getting a little therapy chiropractic. So feeling good, by the way, in the back. Still very sore. When they hit a certain spot back there, it's still broken. It still hurts, but slowly getting there. But I'm asking the question, can you do too much too fast? Can you get in over your head? And I'm just curious what your thoughts are on that. My philosophy on this is push yourself to the brink to know where the brink is. I think we think our brink is at something comfortable. And that's why when people set goals, a lot of times they set them at a level that they know they can attain, and then they think, okay, I've attained it, I can push myself a little harder. I'm more of the mindset of push yourself super duper dippity hard early to see what you're capable of. Like when I set out the 2 60-minute walks a day, I mean, I like to walk, but that's a lot of walking every day. And at some point, I want to get to the point where I'm fit enough that I can run. And I'm not a natural runner. I've got some knee and ankle issues, and so that'll be interesting if at some point I can actually start running. Hummingbird says 10,000 steps used to be the recommendation, but now 15,000 is best. Thoughts? I get the move more scenario. Yeah, I mean, I don't worry about the steps, which, by the way, with all the walking I do on my two walks that I do, plus my normal movement around, I probably am getting about 15 to 20,000 steps. Now, I got long ass legs, so that's a lot of steps and a lot of mileage put on those steps. Yeah, so now I don't have any thoughts on it other than I think doing something to get close to 10,000, 15,000 is good. I think a lot of that is just so arbitrary, and you're right. I think it's based on the whole, eat less, move more philosophy. So move more, okay? Well, who says that 15,000 steps? Why not 25,000 steps? Why not 100,000 steps? Who's coming up with these arbitrary things? So no, I'm not a big fan of that. Plus, if somebody has short little legs, you're gonna get a whole lot more steps. Hummingbird said, I'm a short gal at 53, 5'1". Yeah, see, if you walked with me, Hummingbird, on my trail when I'm doing my walks, I would have like 15,000 steps. You would have 25,000 steps for the same distance that I walk. So it's pretty funny. What is your food plan in all of this? Shannon asked. So on the odd days, and by the way, I post all of this on my social media pages, so go check that out, but I'll go ahead and recap it here. On odd days, which I started September 1st, today is an even day, but on odd days, I eat only animal-based foods. So, and I tried to get really high quality, grass-fed, grass-finished, pastured pork. Yesterday I posted this pastured pork belly bacon. That stuff, dude. I got that at my local farmer's market from the pork supplier, and he was like, you're going to want this. I was like, okay, pork belly bacon. You had me at pork belly. And he's like, it comes in a block, so do you have a nice knife? I said, yeah, I got the Cutco knives. And so I cut the bacon pretty quick, pretty thick, and quick, but thick, and put it in the skillet. I'm like, I don't know how this is going to work out. And then if you saw the picture, it worked out beautifully. It was very beautiful golden brown, and it tasted just like kind of pork belly that you would cook. And so, yeah, so carnivore. Sorry, I got caught up on pork belly, and I was dreaming of a pork belly. Carnivore on the odd days. And it's eat as much as you want and as you can, because on the even days, which is what I'm on today, I'm fasting. Well, let me tell you what I've done so far. My goal is odd days eat, even days don't eat at all. But what I've done so far is I have ended up doing about a 24-hour fast. So averaged it so far. So right now, I have been fasting for just over 24 hours. And I've listened to my body, and I have allowed my body to let me know if I'm hungry. Right now, I'm starting to get those inklings like it's coming on. But I've fasted for 24 hours. So that's a pretty hardcore fast, doing a 24-hour fast and then eating again. If I do 24, then it lets me eat every single day, because like my last meal yesterday was at noon, and now it's noon today. So I could eat when I'm done with the Instagram Live, and I will have gotten in a 24-hour fast. And I probably will, by the way, you guys. So I'm trying to keep the energy up. All of these things that I'm doing in tandem, all of these biohacks, they are expending a lot of calories. They are also turning on and moving around a lot of the hormones that control hunger and other things. And as I talked about in yesterday's video, a lot of fat is being mobilized, and it's got toxins, which then can make you feel bad. And so For me, I am just listening to my body. And thank you, Rosa. I'm listening to my body, and I'm allowing it to tell me what it needs. And yesterday afternoon, I didn't want to do that walk. And I was in a lot of pain in my back. I was just not feeling great, but I knew I wanted to do it. If I did not want to do it and I used the excuse of the back, that would have been easy. And none of this is easy. None of this is supposed to be easy. All of this is supposed to challenge me. And look, I've challenged myself in other areas of my life. I did not become a successful author and podcaster by doing the easy. I did hard. I went for doing things that other people weren't doing. I think I'm one of the only people that does 4 podcasts a week right now. So I'm still challenging myself to be better and to do better. And I think that has application in changing my body like I want to do, my mindset like I am doing. All of these things add up. And I think the moment that we think what we're doing is too much too fast, we may need to rethink that. That's why I wanted to talk about this topic. It's why I'm coming back on here. Those of you that watched me this morning, like Berkeley, I saw came on here. You were on this morning when I was on my walk. I lost that video, so I'm having to do it all over again, which is why I'm here. But this was such an important topic. If you have tried something and you've pushed yourself to be challenged, have you ever felt like you did too much too fast? And if so, tell me the story. I would love to hear it. But for me, like I'm now in the 8th day of doing this. And I have loved feeling the way I feel, having somewhat of a routine. Although I will tell you, I have a routine of things to do, but I don't necessarily do them in the same order. I think that could get my body used to it. So I like mixing it up, and I like, okay, I usually do a walk, sauna, ice bath. Well, what if I do the walk and then not the sauna, ice bath in the morning, but do it later in the day? All of that, changing it up, I think does good things metabolically. Rosa says nothing worth it is ever easy. If it were easy, everybody would do it. Yeah, I mean, that is the thing. Like people want the easy. And a lot of it is cultural. A lot of it is, oh, well, lose 15 pounds in 2 weeks and do this quick and easy plan. And so we have this mindset that it's supposed to be easy. Can I tell you, I haven't had success doing anything that was easy. Everything I've been successful at in my life has always been at the sacrifice of hard, at the impossible at the time, what seemed impossible. If you'd have told me I'd have the longest running health podcast on the internet in 2006 when I started, 15 or so years later, I would have laughed at you. What are you talking about? If you'd have told me I was going to become a 3-time international best-selling author before I started writing books, I'd have been like, what? Like that wouldn't have even registered. All of those things took a lot of practice and dedication and commitment to them. Consistency with them. And that's what I'm learning now in this sabbatical is the importance of the consistency. And while it seemingly is slow at the beginning, I have lost double-digit weight in a week. I am feeling my clothes start to get looser. So I know things are happening. When I was out on my walk the last couple of days, I noticed the big hills that I have to go up. I'm not as labored in my breathing, so there's good things to happen. So you make big changes and there's incremental results from that. And then suddenly you're much better. And suddenly you notice things that you didn't notice before that you were capable of doing. And so that's the fun part of this journey. I'm on the 8th day in now. And I'm expecting by like 20 something, there's going to be some magical things start to happen. And this is what I'm trying to get you guys excited about. That if you want to start your own journey, which by the way, several people have tagged me in stories and posts where I have inspired them with my journey to start their own journey of challenge. I'm officially inviting you guys to join me at the 50-day mark. So I'm doing 50 days, and on day 51, you will start day 1 of your challenge, and then we all will end on December the 10th. But some people are so excited now and so inspired now, they wanted to get going. So if you do, tag me. I would love to see what you're doing and how you're challenging yourself. One person is training for a marathon. And so they're doing a 5K every day, and they're doing da-da-da-da-da. They're just going down this whole list of things. I'm like, holy crap. They were inspired because they saw how hard I was working in my journey. Hummingbird said, thanks for what you're doing for the community. Happy to see you taking care of you. I always will take care of me. I have lived in this massage chair, it feels like, for the last week. And what's funny is the massage chair is not part of my protocol. So on top of all the protocol things that I've been doing, I've been in this chair for hours upon hours a day, getting therapy for my back. And I know it's helping me and helping me recover so I can get to the next day. Jenny says, I don't feel like I've done too much too fast. When training the races, I feel like there was always more I could have done. Yeah. And there is that mentality, Jenny, where people do feel like they had more they could give. And that's why I think having the challenge seemingly be super duper high, and even if you don't reach it, but you reach for it, if you're left wanting for more, maybe that's your cue that the next time you try to train, that would be something that you could push yourself to. Now, I know you don't want to push yourself too hard because you're trying to get to the race day, and that's the day that you push super duper hard. But I wonder if pushing yourself harder on the training and leading up to it might make your race day better. That would be curious. Let me know if you decide to do that. DeMarco says, find something you suck at and then get obsessed about it. Look, I was not a natural speaker. I know that's hard to believe now because I do speak so naturally on camera and live. But I remember I was invited to speak for the very first time. I've been doing a podcast forever. That doesn't count as speaking extemporaneously. I think standing in front of an audience of people, or even coming on a camera like this, takes a lot more skill set than necessarily like interviewing somebody on a podcast. And I remember 2012, I had a group of people from Australia wanted to do this low carb down under. And they're like, they were starting it up, and they're like, we need an American speaker. I'm like, okay. I thought they were going to ask me who I could hook them up with because I know everybody. And they're like, Mike, we want you. And I was like, me? I had never given a talk before. I had to buy PowerPoint to do the presentation. And I remember my very first talk ever was in November of 2012 in Melbourne, Australia. And there was 300 something people in the crowd. And that was the first time I ever gave a talk. Now, 2012, I was testing nutritional ketosis and had done pretty well with that. It was kind of the precursor to what would become Keto Clarity in a couple of years after that. But I remember giving the talk, and it was so invigorating. I was like, whoa. It was a big challenge. It was something I had never done before. And at the end of it, the organizer comes up, Mike, you've been doing this for a long time. That was great. I was like, that was my very first talk ever. And they couldn't believe it. But I feel like it's because I was willing to challenge myself. I had transferable skills from the podcasting. I was used to talking to people on camera. I'd done YouTube videos, but never before in front of a live audience. That was kind of a surreal moment, by the way, because when you actually have people laugh at your corny jokes live, oh, wow, that is funny. Okay, like, because I'm talking to you guys now, and I'll throw in a joke. I don't know if it's funny or not because I can't hear you laughing. But when I heard people laughing, I was like, whoa, that's cool. It's like invigorating if you've never done that before. Berkeley, I typically get too enthusiastic about getting fit and I end up injuring myself. As I told you this morning, I've learned that age is a factor and I need to accept that and listen to my body. It is a factor, Berkeley, but like I told you this morning, you're 71 years old. You're the same age as my mama. And my mom can't do anything. She's morbidly obese, has a lot of myasthenia gravis and other conditions that she's dealing with. And physically, she can barely walk to the bathroom and back. And I hate it for her. So the fact that you're willing at the same age, Berkeley, to put yourself out there and challenge yourself, I think is so admirable. But yes, keeping in mind your situation and challenging yourself but not injuring yourself. There is that fine line between those two. Shannon said, are you testing ketones and what are you drinking? So no, I'm not doing any testing. I wasn't going to check weight, but the other day when I had to take the break on Sunday, I was so discouraged that I didn't do anything on Sunday. And I ended up losing 2.5 pounds when I didn't do anything on Sunday. I know, don't hate me, guys. But I stepped on the scale for that. But I'm not testing blood sugar. Look, if I change my body, it will be obvious blood sugar's coming under control. Insulin's coming under control. I'm eating carnivore and I'm fasting every other day. I'm over 24 hours fasting right now. It's obvious I'm going to have good ketone levels. I don't need to test that. I've done all the games of playing the weight loss game, playing the testing thing. I just want to live. And so that's how I'm doing this one. Because by the end of this, from day one, and I'm taking pictures every day, by the way, not posting every day, but I'm taking pictures every day. When I see noticeable changes, I will post a new picture. But if day one's picture to day 100's picture doesn't tell the story that something good has happened in my body, I don't know what else is going to do it. I don't need blood markers, weight, all of that to tell me. The pictures will tell the story. So what are you drinking? I am drinking, thank you for asking that, by the way. I'm drinking water and then lots of Element. So Element, drinklmnt.com/Jimmy if you want to get some. It's a free sample pack. You just pay the shipping. But it's an electrolyte mix that was created by Rob Wolf. And I love this stuff. I'm currently taking the raspberry. Sorry, my massage chair stopped, so I'm going to start it back up again. Got to have some massage on my back while I'm doing this. So Rob Wolf developed it. It has a mix of sodium, magnesium, and potassium. And I've probably been doing about 4 or 5 packets a day. And I love this stuff. And it's flavored, so it's got different flavors. Like I said, I have the raspberry one in here now, but they have all kind of flavors. So pop over to drinklmnt.com/Jimmy. You'll be able to see the full line. And they'll send you a sample of every single flavor to try for yourself. And all you do is pay for the shipping, but it's free if you go to that website. So that's what I'm drinking. No alcohol, obviously. I don't really drink alcohol anyway. No coffee, no tea, no soda, nothing like that. Just water and electrolytes. Berkeley says, I'm getting back on my keto carnivore journey, not setting unreasonable goals for myself. For me, it's the journey, not the destination. Yes, that's what I've been telling people too. Like, I'm doing this not necessarily for the weight loss. I want to see if I can do it. Like, it's ambitious, all the things that I'm doing in this journey. And ambitious by design. Like, it's a lot of time commitment. It's a daily methodical pace. The one that's been hardest, besides the walking when my back hurts, the one that's been the hardest has been the meditation, because my brain does not calm down. I'm always thinking, it's always running at 100 miles an hour. And so when I sit down to do the guided meditation, and usually it's a video from YouTube that's, and now you're next to a beach. Hear the ocean. Listen as you breathe in the salty air. That kind of thing. My mind wanders. I'm like listening to the guy and, wow, what a overacting voiceover actor that is. I can't focus on what I'm supposed to be doing during the actual meditation. And so that one's been the most challenging. The funnest one is obviously the ice bath, because I do love to get cold. The easiest one has to be standing in front of that red light over there. You just stand in front of the red light I usually do it while I'm watching The Big Bang Theory at night. I've got my back turned to it, and then when it goes to the commercials, I turn towards it, close my eyes, turn towards it, and get the red light on the front of me. Yeah, so, and then this little bad boy over here, the little vibration plate, I'm on it quite a bit. And then there's the sauna. Like, I got my toys. Like, I know how blessed I am to have all these toys to do these things every day like I'm doing. Which is why I tell people, don't replicate what I have, because I know your setup's not the same as mine. Do something challenging for yourself. People asked me the other day, without all that fancy schmancy equipment, what can I do? And I'm like, it's your imagination. Like, you can do all kinds of things. Don't limit yourself. Just open up your mind to what do you think would challenge you. If you've never tried fasting before, then maybe try fasting for 16 to 18 hours and see how you do. If you've never allowed yourself to be in the ground and exposed to sunshine for a period of time, challenge yourself to get out barefoot in the grass, getting sunlight in the eyes and all over your body to produce some vitamin D. That's a challenge. If you want to try to do a HIIT workout, that's a challenge. If you want to push yourself to do a 30-minute walk a day, that's a challenge. Just make your challenge suited to you. Like, I've been at this game for a long time. I know what challenges me. It's why I made the list that I did. Every single one of those things on that list was not because I thought I could do them. It was because I thought, in tandem, that's going to be a lot. But I'm willing to see where it goes, and I want to see where it goes. I want to see how far can I push myself, which is why I asked the question, is there such a thing to do too much too fast? I think there can be, but I think people far more often underestimate what they're capable of than they do over. And so pushing yourself too much too fast is an anomaly. I think most people don't push themselves hard enough. And if you learn nothing else from this challenge, I want you to learn this. Learn to push yourself more. Whatever you think you're capable of, more, harder. Push yourself beyond all of those limitations you have up here, because none of those are serving you well. Shannon said, are you staying away from inflammatory oils? Shannon, I have to ask you a question back, because I already told you I'm eating carnivore on the odd days. What inflammatory oils would fit the carnivore template? I'm really curious what your thoughts are on that, because the only inflammatory oils are the seed oils, the vegetable oils, canola oil, those kinds of things, the rancid, highly processed oils. Those are not meat-based, animal-based. The animal-based are like butter and lard and those kinds of things. And so what carnivore oils are you claiming are inflammatory? I'm really curious. That's a new one to me. Have not heard anybody claim that carnivore oils and fats are inflammatory. Or did you just misspeak and forget that I am doing carnivore on odd days? But yes, you guys, I am still at this, undeterred. I am so motivated to do this, and I won't stop. I can't stop. It's why I wanted to be so public with this. What do you cook with? That was my question. Well, you asked it, are you staying away from inflammatory oils? Well, let me answer that question just in general, even before the Staybatical to 50. I don't use inflammatory oils. I have long been off of any kind of canola oil. When I was doing keto primarily, not this challenge, but in keto, I've done coconut oil and all the typical kind of healthy plant oils. But animal-based oils that I use primarily is grass-fed butter, the natural fats, like the pork belly bacon that I cooked. It rendered out some nice lard fat, and so I've got it in a pan and will likely use it to cook in. So lard, grass-fed butter. Yeah, I mean, and a lot of the meats that I eat have natural fats in them, so I don't have to use extra fat. When I'm cooking my eggs, I do use fat. So that's when the fat would come into it, is when I'm cooking my backyard chicken eggs. I do cook those in butter. But yeah, no, there's no such thing as an animal-based carnivore inflammatory fat. They're not inflammatory. Now, there will be some people that say, well, the saturated fats can be inflammatory, but that's inflammatory in a good way. There are good positive benefits from small inflammation, just like there's positive benefits from small stresses. It's called hormesis in stress. And so, but it's not going to be those inflammatory like you get with the seed oils. Hope that explains it, but thank you for your question. Yeah, guys, we're just here today. I'm giving an update. It's day number 8 of my Stay-Batical to 50. I'm asking the question, is it possible that you can go too much too fast when you start something new? A lot of people claimed that for me, that when they saw the things that I'm doing in my protocol with this Stay-Batical to 50, wow, that's a whole lot, Jimmy. Can you sustain that? And I had to already on Sunday take a whole break off. I have missed a couple of things in the midst of this, but that's a part of the journey. Like, the challenge was to push myself to do things that are hard and do things that, yes, would challenge me. What would be the point of me doing a challenge that I didn't feel challenged, right? The whole point of challenging yourself is to push yourself. And if you never push yourself, how do you know what you're capable of? This little trail that I take with these 60-minute walks, there's a big hill on the way up to the halfway point, and then on the way back, there's a big hill coming back. And those have been challenging for me. And if you've been watching me when I've done these updates live, I get a little winded, but I make it. And each time it gets a little better, a little better, a little better. Each time I go a little further at the halfway point, a little further, a little further, a little further. I'm hoping by the end, I'm running that bad boy and I can make it all the way to the end of the trail and then come back. I don't know, but I didn't know that I could do what I'm doing now. But the only reason I know is I was willing to push myself. So that's the point of all this. Jules says, I struggle with eating out and staying away from the seed oils. All restaurants seem to cook their meat in canola oil. This is how you handle this, Jules. Listen to this. You go to a restaurant, you say, I'm highly allergic to the oils that you use in your cooking. So if you could, either cook it in butter or cook it in water. Don't use any of the oils, and they will clean off a part of that skillet, and the grills. That's the word I was looking for. They'll clean off a part of the grill, because I used to work in food service, and if somebody said they had an allergy to something, we had a part of the grill that was just for no exposure to all those other things. So you just have to ask, and you have to really strike the fear of God in them that you will get sick and get convulsions and everything if you're exposed to it. Now, whether it's true or not, that's between you and your consciousness, but that's the way to kind of get around that. Hello, Bridget. I see you just popped in here, and Courtney. I see some of the usual suspects that like to watch me and follow my work and are friends of mine. So, so I'm just kind of giving an update on how things are going. I have lost a good amount of weight in 7 days, double digits at this point. Again, I don't really care about the weight loss as much as I do the body transformation. And I'm taking pictures every day. And so a front shot and a side shot. And yes, I'm showing my belly and everything, just like I did in the very first shot. And I'm not posting these every day because I don't want to post until I see something of major significance. So what have I seen so far? I have seen where the belly was hanging down a little bit. It's come up a bit, and I can feel that in my shirts now. They are fitting a lot looser than they were, so that's a good sign. One area that I did not talk about this morning when I did this live is my sleep has been a little wonky. And a lot of that has been attributed to the back pain. I've had a lot of back pain because I tried to test flip that tire out there on Monday a week ago, and it did not go well. I tweaked my back, and I've been going to the chiropractor pretty much every day since Friday to try to get that solvent. And I'm in this massage chair just doing all the things, but I can't let the back pain stop me from my goals. And so I've been pushing, but I could be pushing so much more. But I wonder if me pushing with the back pain is causing the disruptions in my sleep. So what happens is I get to sleep, but then I wake up at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and because I'm in such pain, so I'll come down here in the massage chair for a couple of hours, try to get it to calm down, and then go back to the bed again. So that's been a little bit nerve-wracking, but you roll with it. I am starting to get hunger hiccups. You guys get hiccups when you start getting hungry? I do. I'm coming up on 25 hours of fasting, so 20 minutes from now, it will be 25 hours of fasting. And so when I'm done with this live, I will likely go break my fast. Courtney said, I just had a hysterectomy yesterday. I'm ready to get started with you in a few weeks. Courtney, God bless you. I know a lot of ladies who have gone through that. That is not fun, but I'm glad it's over with for you anyway. But good luck to you in your recovery. But yeah, I'm enjoying the process. The walks, if I'm being honest, the walks really are the biggest time commitment of this journey and the biggest challenge on some days because I just don't feel like doing it. I woke up this morning and felt exactly like I did on Sunday morning when I woke up. Achy from head to toe, back was killing me. I was like, there's no way I could get out there and walk. And then suddenly we got a thunderstorm. It was pouring down. Thunder, lightning, torrential downpours at like 5:30 in the morning. And I'm like, well, I was going to try to get out there about 7. It was pouring down rain. And so I went back to bed to try to like feel better. And when I woke up, it was about 7:15 or so, 7:30. And the rain had subsided and the sun had come out. And I felt better. And I thought, okay, I need to give this a go. So I got out there and I went live on Instagram. I lost the live. That's why I'm doing it again. And yeah, I'm glad I did. Now I was sore when I got back. I took a warm shower and warmed up my back for the chiropractor. And so I got back from the chiropractor and got into the chair. And then I went live with you guys. So I still have a lot of the biohacks left to do. I will do my sauna and my ice bath after my walk this afternoon. Now, the afternoon walk is the hard one because that's the one where it's hot, hot, hot outside, and I don't do well with heat, so I need to remember to bring my water bottle with me this time. This bottle is a little too big to carry along on the walks, but this one is the one that has my element. Now, I always load up with lots of the electrolytes before I go out on the walk because I'm going to sweat like crazy. It's good to have those electrolytes in you. And so I do. I down a whole one of these of element before I go on my walk. I know there's people that do the whole dry scoop thing where they just stick it in their mouth. And, I don't know if I can do all that, but there's some badasses that do that. Not Jimmy. No. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I hate that I lost my live from this morning because it was a really good one. And there were a lot of interesting interactions I had with people. But I'm doing good. I am down double-digit weight. I feel good. I am so motivated. Day number 8 now. I have barely even started this journey. It's 100 days. I'm not even 10% into this journey yet. Which, again, that was one of the challenges, too. When I was seeking to challenge myself, I had read about the 75 hard. Let me say something about 75 hard. My friend Brittany's doing it. She's on day 53. I did not like one specific aspect of 75 hard. And that is, if you mess up even one of the elements of what you're supposed to do in a day, then you have to start all over again at zero. I didn't like that. I thought, though, that's kind of stupid. What if you have soreness to the point that you can barely move? How can you make them go out? Now, what Brittany has done, because she has had back pain and other issues pop up, she's modified. Even if it means she's laying on the ground and she's lifting weights above her head, she's gotten it in. To me, I don't want this to be about a checklist of things that I have to get done. I want it to be about, okay, cultivating good habits and honoring your body. That's one thing that I have learned through this process, even in just a week, is if my body's sending me a strong signal, I need to honor that signal. And so Sunday, I did that very thing. I woke up that morning. I felt so sore and tired and weak from head to toe. And I could barely walk. And it's like, I'm supposed to get out there and do a 60-minute walk in the morning and then another one later and all these other biohacks. Yeah, not going to happen. I couldn't do it. And so I happily took off Sunday and I restored my body. And so this 100-day journey, it's not about perfection. It's not about checking off checklists of things to do. It's about, can I commit to a series of things while listening to my body and see results? And that's what I'm learning. I have a feeling, again, by the end of all of this, I'm going to be so bored with the original challenges, the list of things, that I will have added some other things. And trust me, that tractor tire is not out of the question. It's going to come when my back heals up. I've been talking to my chiropractor. I said, I'm coming every day until you let me start flipping that tire, because I am dying to flip that tire. And I'm going to do other kind of strength training. She was telling me about a squat thing I could do with like a kettlebell and putting the weight out front instead of on my shoulders. That would save the back, and it would strengthen some of the core muscles in the lower back. So I may start doing some of that to try to precipitate some of this healing. But I am motivated on day 8 just as much as I've ever been, and I'm excited about where the journey is going. I am feeling good. I'm getting good results. Other than the pain from the back and then that kind of residual pain from just working out and doing all the things, I have thoroughly enjoyed this so far. And I think the connection with you guys has really helped a lot too, because you guys are great cheerleaders. I have so many of you leave comments on my posts and on these videos saying how much I've inspired you and how you're just really urging me to keep it going, because I know you care about me. You guys follow me. You've seen me through the ups and downs and in-betweens over the years, and I've wanted to do this for a few years. The last couple of years were pretty tumultuous in my life emotionally. A lot of just weird stuff I had to work through. And you can't really push yourself physically until you work through some of that mental stuff. And that's what I did. I had to get through some childhood trauma stuff and some other personal life issues. And now I'm on the other side of that. And now I'm ready to push. And maybe that's the too much, too fast thing for some people, is they're not ready because they've not worked on the mental aspect of it first. And they're dealing with other things. And so you're trying to push yourself physically, and you haven't calmed down the demons in your head. And that's important, at least from my experience. So guys, you can get all the updates if you have not checked out my website, livinlavitalowcarb.com/staybatical. You can see every single update that I've done. It lets you see about all the different biohacks I'm doing. I've pointed them out individually so you can see the why. All these videos that I'm doing, we're uploading to there as well. Of course, it's on YouTube, Instagram, IGTV, Facebook, everywhere. Trying to just be accountable to you guys and make you accountable, so that when I challenge you on day 51 to start your own 50-day journey, I'm going to hold you accountable. You're holding me accountable now, but I'm going to hold you accountable to whatever your version of challenging and hard is when the time comes. So I look forward to that with you guys. I will keep giving you updates. Thank you so much for joining me. This was a redo of the one I lost this morning. Cross your fingers that this one saves, because that one this morning was so frustrating that I lost it. But I'm glad we were able to talk to you guys now, and we'll see you guys a little later on. Bye, guys.